everybody, this is Abby from Realistic Kitchen and Gardens, and today I wanted to show you my Kakai Hulless pumpkin. This is a pumpkin that I grew. I started it indoors early May. I transplanted it out in late May, and it actually got frosted, you know, in the late frost. That was May 18th, and it survived, and it grew okay. It produced 2 pumpkins. This is the larger of the 2, so we take what we get. But this is supposed to produce what are called pepitas, the Hulless pumpkin seeds that you buy in the store, so there's no hull on them, seed coat. This is a reveal. I have no idea what it looks like inside. I have split it, just so you don't have to watch me struggle. This also, I picked when it was pretty green because the vine started getting powdery mildew, so I picked it, brought it in, and it's been a couple of weeks, and it's actually pretty well cured. Interestingly enough, the stem is brown and dry, and it has a nice hollow resonance. So, well, that's not very many seeds at all. You see this a lot in tomatoes, actually. So basically, some of the seeds have started to sprout inside the fruit, even without sunlight. There's a nice seed. So this one you could actually dry and eat, or roast and eat, one or the other. Ooh, here it is. So it looks to me similar, like the same general kind of thought process as sunflower seeds. The seeds have just, they're viable and they're sprouting, but they're not edible. So the last saving grace to this, it worked, and it has produced really nice big pepita seeds. But the last saving grace is the flesh, and arguably this was picked a bit too early, so the flesh might be a little bit green tasting. So that's a bummer. It worked. It's a small plant. It's hardy though. The plant is really hardy. But it's a small, like, bush style pumpkin, where some pumpkins are made to wander, go far, and just fruit a ton. This was also planted right next to the Waltham butternut squash, which if you've been following along with the garden itself, the butternut squash is crazy. There were actually 2 butternut squash plants, and the plants went absolutely crazy and has fruited twice. So I expect the resources that this pumpkin was able to use were really diminished compared to what the butternut squash was taking. So will I grow this again? Yeah. I'm actually thinking of trying to grow this. So next year I'm gonna do a corn patch in where the wildflower patch is. And I'm going to do a 3 sisters method. So 3 sisters method of growing corn is beans, which add nitrogen and help nitrogen. Corn is a very heavy feeder, very tall, but it provides the stalk for pole beans to grow up onto, and then squash, a winter squash. So they can be pumpkins, they can be like acorn squash, that kind of thing, but you want them to basically, the method of the squash is that it covers the ground and smothers out weeds, and the pole beans grow up the corn. So you get a really good use of the space for all the different crops you get. I want to try doing multiple Kakai, or Kakai, however you want to pronounce it, pumpkins, so that, again, because it's bushy, it won't cover as much ground as a regular vining pumpkin would. I'll probably do like 6 pumpkins maybe, and I'll also decide if that's enough pumpkin or too much pumpkin, because if you can grow as many crops as you want, you also want to be able to use them. So this year is going to be a bumper crop of butternut squash, but I only have this 1 pumpkin and 1 really small one that's probably only this big that would fit in my hand. So it is what it is. Nature does what she wants, as we know. So with this pumpkin, I'm going to can some to use as pumpkin pie filling, and I'll just can it as plain cubes. And then I'm also going to make pumpkin butter. Think apple butter. So stay tuned for that. If you like this kind of stuff, please like, comment, and subscribe. And follow along on my Facebook, Realistic Kitchen and Gardens.